Hello everyone, how's it going? Billy Ballgame here, back with another video. The purpose of today's video is I'm going to go over the last complete set from the basement collection that I haven't gone through yet. So today I'm going to talk about the 1985 Fleer set, and this is an awesome set. I think it's really cool. I never had these cards growing up as a kid, and there are a lot of them in there that had a lot of value back in my high school days that I think are really cool cards. This set has a lot of rookie cards in it, and it has 44 Hall of Famers. And again, it's a set that I wasn't very familiar with. I had never owned any of these cards before, so I'm excited to show you those today. So I do have one more set that I got from the basement collection. It's an 86 top set. I'm not going to go through that whole set with you. I also got a bunch of cello packs from 86 and a bunch of cello packs from 87. So I'm going to show you the kind of the highlights of the best cards from the set and the best cards that I got from the cello packs that I'm going to consider sending out for grading. So this video is pretty much going to wrap up everything that I picked up in the basement collection. But of course, I have a lot of cards that I want to send in for grading in the future, and a lot of those will be from the basement collection. So the legacy of the basement collection lives on, so to speak. I'm also going to do an SGC reveal. So if you remember back, I think it was a couple videos ago, I've got a 1970 Topps Carl Yastrzemski and a 1972 Topps Carl Yastrzemski that I bought off of RBI Crew 7 outside of St. Louis last summer or the summer before. Excuse me. That I paid 10 bucks a piece for. So I sent those into grade. Chris and I just got them back yesterday. He's already done a video showing the cards that he got back. And we were both kind of confused about the post Roger Maris. So I don't know why they would have graded it evidence of trimming when it was a hand-cut card. But anyway, it is what it is. And I'm under the weather today. So if my voice is off or I started to say I don't see my normal energetic self, I apologize. But I don't normally appear too energetic on these videos anyway, just talking to my camera. So I'm gonna get through this the best I can. With that, I'll quit flapping my gums. I'll spin this around and show you the cards from the 1985 Fleer set. Hang on just a second. All right, so let's get into the cards. So here's, we'll start off with the stars. Here's Dave Parker. Now, I really like the simplicity of this design. I think it's clean. If you get good centered cards, they look really sharp, and this set was in really good shape. Some of the key cards I have pulled out that I may consider for grading that I'll show you here in a little bit when I get into some of the bigger rookie cards. But I'm a big fan of this set. I just like the look of it, the simplicity of the design with the gray borders and then the team match border and then the logo up in the corner. I just think it's a good looking set. That was Dale Murphy. Here's Rusty Staub, still plugging along in 1985. I'm not sure what his last year was. My guess is 85 or 86. Here's Dusty Baker, future Hall of Fame manager. Steve Garvey, one of the big stars from the 80s in baseball. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. Here's a cool one with Dwight Gooden and Juan Samuel. This set is 85, of course, being Dwight Gooden's rookie year. Pete Rose, 4,000th hit in an Expos uniform, but back here he was in the Reds uniform. That's kind of interesting. Here's Darryl Strawberry. That's a good looking sharp card there, I think. Dwight Evans. Bobby Grich. Keith Hernandez. Here are the backs, in case you haven't seen them. Again, Kind of a typical Fleer back from this era with the percent instead of the average on the back. But the backs are kind of nice, I think. And then here's Tommy John. That's it for the stars that I pulled out. So now I'm going to get into kind of some of the lesser name rookie cards before I get into the Hall of Famers. I'm not sure if this is Jimmy Key's rookie card or not. I think it was 84 traded, or 84 had Jimmy Key, but I'm not sure. I went ahead and pulled that out. There's Brett Saberhagen. So back in my high school days, a lot of these would have had significant value. Brett Saberhagen being one of them. Oral Hershiser being another one. Especially around 89, 90, Oral was pretty big in the hobby. Here's Terry Pendleton, his rookie cards being in 85. And then Glenn Davis was a kind of a big-time star when he first came in the league, a big slugger, and then he dropped off very quickly. But this card would have had significant value in the late 80s, early 90s. And then here is Billy Hatcher and Sean Dunston. Sean Dunston was pretty big there for a while, again in the late 80s, early 90s. So this card would have had some pretty decent value around then. And then we have Steve Kiefer, who I've never heard of, but the big one on this one is Danny Tartable, who was also a big star there for a while. So now I'll get into the Hall of Famers. By my count, there are 44 of them in this set. And then I'll show you the cards that I have pulled out for grading, and then I'll show you the SGC cards I just got back. So this one's pretty cool. NL All-Star. It's got Darryl Strawberry, Gary Carter, Steve Garvey, and Ozzie Smith. I just think that's a neat card. You guys know I like the combo cards. And all of those guys, well, 2 of the 4 are in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if Steve Garvey's really got a chance long-term to get in, but was a good player, and so was Darryl Strawberry. Here's Jack Morris. Don Sutton. Steve Carlton, he would go on to pitch. I think 87 was his last year. So he'd have a few more years of cards after this. And then here's Raleigh Fingers, still holding on. So again, my channel is the proud sponsor of Raleigh Fingers Mustache. Look at that bad boy right there. Here we have Steve Garvey and Goose Gossage. NL Pennant Clinchers. Cool card there. This one I think is cool. 4 different photos during Mike Schmidt's swing. So it kind of breaks it down step by step. Kind of cool card. Here's Goose Gossage's basic, or his base card. Big old jaw full of Red Man, or a Big League Chew, I should say, in his jaw. Here's Sparky Anderson in the dugout going through some signs. Looks to me like maybe he's just adjusting his hat. I don't know. Here's Tom Terrific, Tom Seaver. He would also have cards in 87. I think was his last year of cards, if I remember right. Maybe 86. Bert Blyleven would go on to pitch many years after this. I think 90, 91, somewhere around there was when he retired. Maybe 92, 93. I don't remember exactly, but early 90s. Bruce Sutter, Hall of Fame closer, whose career really didn't last that long. I think he was in the big leagues for 10 or 12 years, and then I think had arm troubles because of his forkball that he threw. It's kind of more of an extreme version of the split finger, and it just put tremendous pressure on your elbow. So here's Paul Molitor, Gary Carter, everyone's favorite Hall of Famer, Harold Baines, Rod Carew, one of the great underrated hitters in the history of baseball, in my opinion. Jim Rice, Wade Boggs, and George Brett. So there were 44 in that stack. There are actually more that I have pulled aside maybe to grade. So there are a few more than 44 Hall of Famers in this set. So here's Andre Dawson. Carlton Fisk. Got a notification that Don Field of Dreams just posted a video titled My Movie. Looking forward to checking that out. Here's Tony Perez. Cal Ripken Jr. Good looking card there. Nolan Ryan. Here's Two Perfect Games. Witt, Palmer, and Jack Morris. I can't think of who Palmer is right now. Is that not Jim Palmer? I don't remember. I can't think of his name right now. But Jack Morris, the lone Hall of Famer on that card. Sorry about that. I went brain dead. Here's Gary Carter. Lee Smith. Phil Niekro. Joe Morgan. Still hanging on. Would have cards in 86, and then I think that was the end of Joe Morgan's career. Here's Ricky Henderson. I really like these Ricky Henderson cards where he's leading off or running the bases, because that's kind of... He was a great all-around player, but he's most known for just being probably the most dangerous base runner in the history of the game, and the obvious career stolen bases leader. So for me, that is showing Ricky doing what he was best at and most known for. So I really like these types of cards of Ricky Henderson. And then here is Eddie Murray. Ryan Sandberg. And then here's Cal and his dad, who was coaching for the Orioles at the time. Excuse me once again, sorry about that. And then here is Dave Winfield, good looking card there. Just a few more Hall of Famers left. Here's Ted Simmons. Tim Raines. Here's Mike Schmidt and Ryan Sandberg. NL Pitcher's Nightmare. And that's really the truth. Sandberg was a 20-30 home run hitter as a second baseman, and Mike Schmidt's a member of the 500 home run club. So I wouldn't want to face either one of those guys. Here's Reggie Jackson. Dennis Eckersley. Robin Yount. Alan Trammell. Reggie Jackson. 500th home run of his career. And then here's a Ripken in action going through the four photos of his swing. So Ripken was one of those guys, he was the man of 1,000 batting stances. It seemed like he was always changing his batting stance. It's amazing he was able to be as consistent as he was with that many changes that he was constantly going through at the plate. And then last but not least for the Hall of Famers, Michael Jack Schmidt, one of the greatest third basemen of all time. So that's it for the Hall of Famers. Now I'll go through and show you the cards that I have identified, pulled aside for grading. And there are some great cards in here. So I'll start out with Ozzie Smith. I'll grade this at some point for my player run. I think this one's quite obviously off-center top to bottom. It could maybe be a 9, but possibly an 8, so I'll look at that again. Eric Davis, this is a well-centered card here. Good looking card. He's got some big league chew in his mouth too. Must have been a very popular gum back then. Here's Ricky Henderson and Dave Winfield. AL pitcher's nightmare. Also true as the National League pitcher's nightmare card. Here's Tony Gwynn. Good looking card there. So as you can see, these cards are in amazing shape. It's just a matter of whether or not they were centered, as with so many cards from this era. Here's a great looking Donnie Ball game, Don Mattingly. Good looking card there. And then last but not least, I'll get into some of the bigger rookie cards here. We've got Dwight Gooden. This card in a 10 still has some pretty decent value to it, although his career obviously didn't live up to its expectations. Roger Clemens. Another good looking card. And then last but not least, we've got Kirby Puckett. And look at that baby, how sharp that is. Well centered. Corners are crisp and clean. Looks like it was pulled out of a pack yesterday. So I'm excited to send some of these in and get them graded and see what kind of grades I get back from SGC on them. And again, those will be over the course of the next several months. I'm going to grade 1 month and buy cards 1 month and then just alternate like that. So here is my SGC. Sorry, I forgot to pull one of them out of the bag here. Here are my 2 cards I got back from SGC, and then I've got another stack here that I'm going to send off for Chris, hopefully this week. Today's Saturday as I'm filming this video. So here's the 70 Topps Carl Yastrzemski that I showed in previous videos. I was hoping that this one was going to get a 7, but then I looked at it a little further, and I think that maybe this bottom right corner here, if I can get the camera to focus, was just too rough for a 7. But overall, it's a sharp, clean card. It's well centered. Back is clean. I just gave the grade away. Well centered on the back. And it came back as a 6. So 1 down from what I was hoping. But that's a clean card regardless of what grade's on it. So I will keep that long term. So I'm pretty happy with a 6 on that. And then here, this one I was really kind of blown away by. And I thought this was a really sharp card when I bought it. It might have a little bit of tilt to it that's really so slight, it's really hard to pick up. But you may be able to see it right there. So again, I was hoping for a 7 from both of these cards. And this one came back as an 8. So there's the air quotes investor grade card right there. And I think this value in an 8 is probably 60, 70 bucks or something like that. Not a whole lot of value in it. But for me, it was just validation that I thought it was a really clean card. And SGC actually thought it was better than I did. So I'll take an 8 on these types of cards all day long. So that's it for the SGC cards. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip this camera around and I'll wrap up the video. All right, so I'm back to wrap it up. So I appreciate everybody sticking by or stopping by and checking out the channel. Thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, I'm still working on the 1960 Topps set. I can't decide if I'm going to buy a couple cards this month for the set or if I'm just going to send cards in to get graded. But stay tuned to the channel. I'll have lots coming up. Lots of SGC reveals will be coming up from the cards from the basement collection. Chris has a lot of cards that he wants me to send in to SGC for his player runs. So there'll be a lot going on. And then I also, like I said, I'm going to continue working on the 1960 Topps set. I also want to start mixing in buying some more of the Hall of Fame rookie cards when I can find them at good prices that fall within the budget. So everybody stay tuned. I appreciate the support, and thanks again for checking out the video. If you haven't already, please throw this one a like and subscribe to the channel. And until the next one, I hope everybody has a good one, and I'll talk to you later.